This is Unaided, the brand building podcast, brought to you by Leakside, a TeamSnap company. Get ready to learn about brand marketing strategy from the experts. Here's your host, Evan Brandoff.
Hello and welcome to Unaided, the brand building podcast. I'm your host, Evan Brandoff. Today, we welcome Adam Golomb onto the show. Adam, the CEO of the iconic sandwich shop, restaurant, and bar chain Primanti Bros, is a strategic marketing professional with over 20 years of experience growing and building world-class brands. Let's get into it. Adam, how's it going?
Going well, Evan. How's things?
Doing well. Which Primanti Bros location are we looking at right now?
This is one of our locations in Pittsburgh. The power of fake backgrounds makes it look like I'm there, but I'm not there. You can see the sandwich behind me. It's about the size they are.
I'm psyched to have you on the show today. You might remember this, but you probably don't know the context. But when Zubin and I started Leakside back in 2015, you were, I think, the third meeting that we ever had.
When I was at Giant Eagle?
When you were at Giant Eagle. And we didn't ultimately work together with you at Giant Eagle, but I knew from that moment that you were an innovator because you took a call with a couple of 23-year-olds starting a new marketing channel, trying to create a marketplace in youth sports. So I appreciate you taking that call. I've been following you ever since then. Appreciate your support since then. Not surprised about all of your success. But I think this is the first time we're actually seeing each other face to face. So it's finally actually great to see you.
You know, I always tell my team, take every sales call available, even if it's something you don't think, because you never know what it's going to be. And you never know what idea you're going to get from it, or, it might be an early stage tech that might not make sense.
Yeah, I love that mindset, but I'm sure you get reached out to a ton. Do you still? Yeah.
But we found, one of our biggest, I'd say, marketing tech partners kind of found through a sales call. It was like, we didn't know what they did and jumped on a call with them. And as you kind of peeled back the onion, you're like, whoa, this is really cool tech.
Yeah. Which partner is that?
A company called Data Delivers. So they take our data and are able to help us find more. We call our customers fans, more fans out there, and also get more of our fans. It's not a loyalty program; it's more about digital marketing, digital advertising solution.
Nice. So where are you from originally, Adam?
I grew up in Pittsburgh. Left here for a couple of years, got dragged back. Said I was going to be here for like 6 months, and I think it's 25 years later. I'm still here.
I guess you're a Pittsburgh lifer.
I am. They call Pittsburghers Yinzers. Huge Steelers fan. Tonight's the draft. This is like the excitement. Pirates are on fire. Second best record in baseball. So probably by the time this airs, they won't have the second best record in baseball. But it's exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. What's your prediction in the draft tonight?
I hope they don't take Joey Porter Jr. Probably going to be knocked just because of the Steelers connection. We need offensive line, or we need like an edge rusher. Those are probably the two. But we have 3 picks in the top 45, so we'll be interested to see what they do with that Chase Claypool pick that they got from the Bears, which is 32, to see if they trade that or if they take somebody.
Yeah,
that's really the Miami Dolphins pick. The Dolphins lost their pick for tampering, so we got like 2 picks in the first round.
Right. Yeah, this is a big draft for y'all. I'm unfortunately a Jets fan.
Are you guys celebrating?
I think that in typical Jets fashion, we'll find a way to mess up this opportunity.
It's like the Cleveland Browns, Browns being Browns. It's like no matter what they do, I think it's a lot to give up for one guy that's going to play 2 years.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And also in his peak, in his prime with great teams, he only has 1 ring. What are the odds?
That's the argument that he's not as people think he's good. But I thought that was, the guy didn't want to be in Green Bay. Let's start there.
Right.
I have a lot of Packers friends. I think they were kind of happy to get rid of him. And it'll be interesting to see what they do. Do they take a quarterback if there's one sitting around?
Yeah.
So Jordan loves the guy.
Yeah, he does. But all right, originally from Pittsburgh.
Yep.
So I assume that Primanti Bros was a go-to spot that you went to growing up.
Yeah, there was growing up, there was the original location, which is still there. It's 90th year there. We added a new side. They call it the new side to that restaurant, which is like 35 years old. We find it really funny that the staff calls it the new side. Went there with my father, with my grandfather to the original location. It was kind of a long bar. It's still a long bar, a couple tables, and had that sandwich. And up until about 98, 99, there really was only 4 or 5 locations in the city. And then 98 or 99, the original guys opened a location in the suburbs. That was like their first kind of foray, and grew it to about 13 locations. And then in 2013, took on an outside investor who grew it to in the mid 30s. And then we took on a new investor in January 22. And we're up to 41 locations. We got 4 under construction. So, and getting ready to, we're going to be in that 50 number in the restaurant industry is like the big number.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the time frame to get to that 50 number?
Hopefully next year. So we'll be pretty close. We'll have 45 at the end of this year. We've got a lot of real estate market all of a sudden got really good the last 3 or 4 months. It's like coming out of the pandemic, we thought real estate market would be great, and it wasn't. But all of a sudden it got really good. I think we'll open 4 or 5 next year, which will get us really close to that 50.
And that's great. And that you've been able to have that tactical, thoughtful approach. It's not just grow at all costs. It's waiting and for the right opportunity too. And
they're all corporate owned. So no franchises. I've worked in franchise environments. There's pluses and minuses to, both of them. But we're fortunate we have the capital and the systems to be able to grow ourselves and set our own destiny.
When making that decision of should we continue to grow as a corporate owned entity versus a franchise model, what are the key factors that drive that decision of which way to go?
Yeah, I think first is systems and people. Do you have a system and people that can grow the brand? Access to capital, like can you grow it yourself financially? And then returns. A franchisor is going to see returns of 4 to 6% probably when the day's over on royalties, and maybe some more on some other back end things. But if the business can make more by itself, why would you franchise?
So why do so many companies franchise?
Well, because they don't want to be in the business. They don't want to have to put the capital up there, and to be the ones that struggle, I think the most are the hybrids that have like 20 corporate stores and then trying to be a franchise group. It's like, I get why people have corporate stores so that you can push projects out and try things before you push it out to your franchisees. But it's a weird environment to be in. But no, we've been successful. Lots of people would love to franchise it. I don't say never because you never say never on that, but really excited. We have our own team. We've grown internally. We've got great people. Some people, our longest tenured employees, been with us 50 years, but a lot of people over 20 years. Really awesome. Helped us grow.
So I'm excited to continue digging into Primanti, but before we do, I want to go back to your last role at Giant Eagle, running the $1 billion gift card marketplace.
Yep.
So first off, to clarify, I find the gift card world is so interesting. To clarify, like what exactly is a Giant Eagle gift card marketplace?
So what we had was north of 300 other branded gift cards from people like Home Depot to Primanti's to Olive Garden to Lowe's to Best Buy to Visa that we sold in stores. So about 450 Giant Eagle and Get-Go locations. And then we sold them online. We had a really robust, grew north of 100 million in like a 9-month period in online marketplace. And the power, so it's part of it's the convenience, but we had a program called Fuel Perks where you got fuel for every dollar you spent on gift cards. So there was value to, contractors would go, okay, I'm doing a $10,000 job. I'm going to go buy $10,000 in Home Depot gift cards. And then all of a sudden I'm fueling the whole fleet of my trucks. Or I'm taking my family to Disney. So I'm going to go buy gift cards and pay for my Disney trip. And then I don't have to pay for fuel for 3 months. So unbelievable. One of the largest gift card marketplaces in the US from this kind of small chain in Pennsylvania. When you would talk to many large retailers, we were the number 2 or 3 biggest seller of their gift cards in the US.
Really?
Yeah. Outside of themselves and maybe, like Kroger, it was like we were like next in line or we were number 2 outside of themselves. So a super powerful program, ability to move gift cards, ability to move sales. You would talk to these retailers and or online, and they would say that the markets we were in, kind of the Mid-Atlantic, performed better than everyone else in the country, and the only difference was the gift card program. So, being a marketer, it was to pitch these companies. It's pitch it as a marketing program, not as a gift card program,
right?
And deploy tactics like, how do we get you more sales? How do we help you steal sales from competition? How do we drive your important days? Amazon Prime Day, we sold Amazon gift cards. So Amazon Prime Day, it's like, okay, let's do a promotion around that to help you push Prime Day.
And how are people finding the marketplace?
Well, I mean, the biggest method of marketing it was the circular. We printed like 5 million circulars a week, kind of old school, but we ran a lot of digital advertising in store. We ran TV, radio, billboards. When you're selling north of $1 billion gift cards, you have some money to spend on marketing.
Right. So not only were you selling it as a marketing tactic for the companies, but it was a marketing tactic for Giant Eagle.
Now got people in the stores.
And then
got people in the stores. And we found when somebody came in to buy a gift card, they usually bought something else.
Right. So. Yeah, because I always envision gift cards. You're checking out at the grocery store, and there's an opportunity to buy a gift card. I'm like, there's no way that they were selling $1 billion in gift cards just from checkout.
No, that's where you're playing just a straight up convenience play. But if you think about it from the rewards play, the whole thing we tried to do is like, before you buy that Southwest Airlines ticket. Now, don't tell Southwest this, because this is where it gets into are we driving incremental business? But before you buy that Southwest Airlines ticket, pause, go get your gift cards, get your fuel perks, and then go pay for your Southwest Airlines ticket. Now, hopefully you're more loyal to Southwest because you go, okay, well, my Southwest, roughly the percentage discount would be in like the 8 to 10% range on the purchase, that if you did the math on it. So like roughly somebody would go, okay, well, that ticket was $500 actually cost me $450, which now makes it cheaper than American Airlines. So that was but we had great partnerships. I still talk to people today in that space. Home Depot being one of the biggest, Amazon, Disney, Lowe's, Best Buy, the Darden Restaurant Group, Kohl's, Starbucks. I mean, these are people that national brands that we moved a ton of the volume for them. And then a lot of regional brands. We were like the first to do this kind of hyper local, where we would, Primanti's, I think, was one of the first regional cards we did with Blackhawk Network was the partner behind the scenes. But how do you take a regional brand like Primanti's that, we weren't in all of Giant Eagle's footprint. So how do you merchandise cards only in, the 450 locations, maybe it's 150. So you had different merchandise sets. So you help these local brands get exposure. And we actually, jokingly, I jokingly say we sell more cards through Giant Eagle than we sell ourselves at Primanti's.
It makes sense.
It does.
And going off of your Southwest example, if you see that your flight's going to cost $273, I assume you can't buy a $273 gift card. You can. $100 gift. Oh, you can. Okay.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I have. So you can do it in that's why online, I think, took off so fast, because you can go online, order the gift card, and it was in your inbox in like 3 minutes, and you can just key in the number you want. So I think that's where online took off. But you can go in most of the cards are anywhere between $500 to $500, and you just tell the cashier what you want loaded on it.
Interesting. What I always wondered about the gift card business is, take Home Depot as an example. The gift cards that they're selling in-house versus the gift cards that they're selling through the Giant Eagle marketplace. Is it the same gift card?
It's the same looking gift card. It's usually, I can go gift card geeky here, but there's a thing called bin numbers. So it's usually a different bin number on the back end, so you can track it.
Okay.
So, the most advanced people did, like, let's use a large destination in Orlando, Florida, with a mouse as a mascot. They would look at the gift card redemption and look at the spend above that. Like their finance people would go, because you're paying money to be in our network. You're not only paying us money, you're paying the third party, intermediary. So they would look at, okay, that person, bought a $5,000 gift card, but when they were in the park, this is Disney with the ability to track you. When they were in the park, they spent another, X thousand. So like there was profit on that to make up for the profit they gave up on the gift card.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like the most advanced people were doing a deep dive, but the benefit on gift cards, let's go through beyond driving traffic, cash flow. I think if I read recently, Starbucks has like $1 billion and change in gift cards sitting in their bank.
Well,
Like,
it's wild.
you think they're borrowing money? You think they've got a revolver? No, they're using their gift card balance as their revolver. So they're saving.
Well, their whole business, their whole rewards program is essentially a gift card. You have to load $25, $50 on before you can.
So that's number one. And then the breakage. So breakage can range anywhere from 3% to, I've seen 15%. So that's money that just never gets redeemed, and you can just take that right to the bank account.
So smart. I just, I'm a startup nerd, and maybe this does exist and I haven't seen it, but I always wondered, why isn't there a Chrome extension where you could just store all of your gift cards and know how much is in it? And I assumed it's because different vendors are the only ones that could see how much is.
So we built one at Giant Eagle that I think we're patent pending. So, I mean, I've left almost 5 years ago. It's still patent pending. Welcome to the USPTO. But we build a thing. The challenge is integrating back. It's easy to do the activations, integrating back on the balance inquiry. So you need almost like a refresh, real-time refresh on balance inquiries, that you're doing these calls like once an hour to say like, okay, take this number, make a call to their, because you got all these different gift card providers, from homegrown solutions to companies to, credit card processors that are running these gift card databases. So you need to be able to understand what the current balance is. So Blackhawk Network was our partner, and they were able to build some of this tech on the back end to do the balance inquiry call. And if you download the Giant Eagle app, it keeps track of all the gift cards you buy through Giant Eagle and what the balances are. It's pretty cool tech.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
All right. Grow Primanti Bros nationally, internationally, turn it into $1 billion business. And then we're going to innovate on the gift card. So speaking of it, let's shift to Primanti Bros, where congratulations, as of January, I believe you're now the CEO.
They let a marketer run the place. I don't know what they were thinking. It is interesting. There is a trend in the restaurant industry. I think of like the last 10 CEOs in the restaurant industry. I think 9 of them have been the CMO, like previously the CMO. That seems to be the trend right now.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's, I think 2 things. One, the CMO is the closest to that kind of rev generation, responsible for revenue generation. And I think number 2, the world of digital, the pandemic took us 5 years of digital adoption, happened in about 5 months. And the CMO led digital transformation in most organizations. So the power of digital and the ability to grasp digital and drive the top line. But it's a great trend. Us marketers, we're coming out, letting us take the keys to the kingdom. So
to that end, you are a brilliant marketer. Have you been able to maintain your ability to think about marketing in your new role as CEO?
Yeah. Our former CEO, is one of our board members, jokingly said that I could run marketing with one hand tied behind my back still. So, hey, part of it is my right hand, previously marketing, is now running marketing. We talk regularly. I still stay in tune with a lot of our partners. I spend probably a third of my time still talking to a lot of our marketing partners. We've got 2 great other people in our marketing team that worked for me. And then we just added another person, somebody that was worked at one of our outside agencies to really take that. But yeah, I think I spend a lot of time thinking about marketing. I spend a lot of time thinking about digital and digital transformation. How does a 90-year-old brand use digital to drive top line, make the fan experience better? Yeah. It's the trap is to fall back into run marketing, which I don't want to do, but the ease is to fall back into being in marketing. So, I just saw Chris Tomaso, who's the CEO of First Watch, speak at a conference, and he's a former CMO of First Watch. And my friend is now the CMO of First Watch, Matt. They asked Chris, do you drive the marketing guy crazy? And he said, no, he doesn't. So I'm texting Matt. I'm like, Chris said he doesn't drive you crazy, type of thing.
Sure, you got a LOL in response.
Yeah. And I think Brian probably feels the same way, Brian is our VP of marketing. Probably, there's times he's probably like, oh my God, this guy's, in my business.
It's impossible not to be. That's
the key to all this is building a great team around you. And I think with my promotion, we were able to promote a bunch of people internally. Which is great. Our chief restaurant officer was our regional VP, now oversees operations and training. Our CFO has been with us about 7 months. Ryan got promoted to VP of marketing. So it's great to see that we were able to build a great team internally. We didn't have to go, fill a bunch of positions externally.
100%.
Yeah.
So you mentioned digital transformation. Can you share a little bit about what you have done or what you're thinking about?
I mean, so we partner with a lot of great external companies. So let's start with online ordering. We use Olo, gold standard in the restaurant industry. They run small brands like Chipotle, online ordering, and Darden. I mean, just small little brands out there. So we use them for online ordering. We've integrated a solution called Flyby, which I refer to as like the Target of restaurant pickup. You know, when I first time I did Target pickup during the pandemic, I was like, why the hell did I ever go into a store? So we have that solution now that tells us when you're leaving your house or your business and when you arrive to pick up your takeout order, and then we bring it out to the car. I think we spun up curbside in like 2 days during the pandemic. It was like ridiculous. You know, that would have been a 2-year project. It was like 2 days we spun that thing up and went live with it. And then we built a loyalty solution with a company called Patronics, which is the largest restaurant loyalty provider. So we have an app. We have a very robust loyalty solution with lots of campaigns running behind the scenes to drive incremental visits, incremental spend. The key is tying all these tools together. That's really the key.
And you hit on the next topic I wanted to get into. You joined Primanti about a year before the pandemic started.
Yeah, like a year and a half, I think it was. Like I remember like early March talking about the pandemic and like, yeah, this thing's not going to be that bad. And I joke with the team on March 13th. I told everyone I'd see them in 2 weeks. And I think it was like the first time I saw my team was 9 months later in person.
Which brutal, but there's so many challenging parts about COVID. I'd love to hear from you. And I think you kind of just hit on it. What were the positive takeaways?
Yeah, I mean, I think let's start with the first thing. Our team rose up. Unbelievable. Best team in the business from an operations standpoint. These guys, you know, they couldn't work from home. So what they did, and I think we got rid of, the biggest thing I talked with the team about was we got rid of a lot of the red tape. We learned we can move fast. We learned we can fail fast. You know, perfect. I continue to fight about this thing, perfect getting in the way of good. So we were able to make our menu smaller, which was, I think you never would have taken that much of a slash to the menu. You'd have been fearful of what it would have done, but it was just like, we can't execute all these items. So we got to make the menu like two-thirds the size it is today. And then I think the ability to, our takeout business is almost double what it was pre-pandemic, and it's never gone back, which is like wild to watch.
Great.
So I think that's the other piece. Consumers just accepted the takeout business, but we got smarter, we got better, we got faster. I think the biggest thing is we got faster as an organization. Like why does this have to take 3 months when you know it can happen in 3 weeks?
Right.
So
yeah, it's incredible how fast you were able to shift and how.
Yeah, I mean, I jokingly said, I used the story, which is public. David Head, our CEO at the time, myself, were reading the article at like 8 a.m. about Chili's rolling out this. It's Just Wing. I think it was Just Wings is their name of their virtual brand. And they're saying it's going to be $150 million brand. So at 8 a.m. we're talking on the phone, and by like 3 o'clock we were live with our wing brand. On virtual. So it's like, like name another time you did that. But yeah, we would come up with ideas that we had a marketing call. Initially it was twice a day. We had an executive call twice a day. We had a board call once a day, but like we would talk marketing. I think we met at like 9:30. It was either 9:30 or 10 because I wanted the team to like be able to get in and like start their day. But we would meet at like 9:30 every morning and divvy up tasks, and we'd get back together at 3 o'clock and see where we were on things. And pivoting, and we were running 7-day-a-week promotions. I mean, some of them have stuck, but there were some dark days, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, the joke is I designed our menu on Canva because we needed like a paper disposable menu. So I designed it on Canva at like 2 a.m.
That's amazing. Has the menu returned to the size that it was, or has
it's returned to a new design? It was funny. We had a new design that was really thoughtful and smart restaurant design that we were ready to launch on March 10th of 2020. So we held that, but then it's never returned to the size it was. I'd say probably it's 20 to 25% smaller.
Okay.
We took some items off that really it started with single SKU, single ingredients, and then complex ingredients to make. So heavy prep. So we took any of those items off, and then things that I was like, this is a great opportunity to get rid of this item. That's not good. It's just like
something I've always wondered. I don't think I've ever gone out to eat, and at least one person in my group doesn't ask the waitress or waiter, what's the best thing? What should I order?
Mm-hmm.
do you prepare your team, like gear them, tell them what to say when they get?
I mean, we train them on. I mean, we give a free meal to every employee on shift. So we encourage them to eat the menu. I mean, we train them. We've got a couple of big sellers. I always, I try to have them. Our sandwich is really weird if you don't get it. So we try to explain, and teach them the sandwich, teach them the history of the sandwich. Teach them, we jokingly call it our number 2 bestseller. It's our bestseller, but the Pittsburgher, the pastrami is a great place to start. We try to give them explanations. We've done a lot of analytics under the hood of like the sandwich is the gateway drug to every other item. People don't come in and order pizza off the street. They order the sandwich first, which is expected as their first time visit. And then from there, how do you get menu breadth and depth?
What's your go-to?
I'm a pastrami. I mean, that's probably my go-to on a regular basis. I eat a lot. My wife jokingly tells me that I eat probably, I think there was an article that I mentioned I eat 3 to 4 times a week. She's like, oh, that's not going to be good for your health, but I do get my vegetable course with the cabbage. There you go. Yeah, no, I mean, pastrami, I get on these like bacon cheese fry kicks. I'll get on a wing kick. So today is bring your kids to work day, at least in Pennsylvania. So my kids we're going to go visit some restaurants today.
Oh, nice.
And we will be eating. I'll make them force feed them.
I read you have 3 girls?
Yeah, 3 daughters. Yeah. So my 2 youngest, my oldest is probably past the bring your kids to work day, but my youngest, who's 6 years old, this is her first bring your kid to work day. And at 7:30, we heard banging around the house and she was getting showered and dressed for work. So super excited. It's not going to be that much fun, dressing, but we'll have a good day.
I'm sure it will be. I'm sure they're enamored by what you do, and it'll be. We have some new technology that I need to test today. So we're going to test some new tech in one of the restaurants. So you get to see that if it works or doesn't work. Well, one of my favorite of your recent innovations is the new pizza subscription.
Yeah. So talk about like innovation. So the world.
So what problem were you trying to solve? We're
not really trying to solve a problem, but we're trying to be innovative and give a piece of news that allows us to get out in the market and create buzz about the brand. That's always the most important thing. Like, we have a small marketing budget. So how do you punch above your weight class with free PR? Right. So we're like the masters of crazy free PR. And I can talk about that in a second, but this pizza subscription, Patronix, who's our loyalty provider, brought this idea to us that you could do this pizza, you could do a subscription. And if you look in the restaurant space, Panera, I think, has like 500,000 members paying them like $11 a month. So we did a lot of consumer research because it was like, what do we offer? And it ended up being that like pizza tested really well and we could keep the price point under $10. So I think that was the key. Like once you get across $10, like, do I really want to pay for this subscription? But like under $10, you can justify it. So for $9.99 a month, you get a free slice of pizza every day put into your account. And we're seeing people, the adoption's going well. We're seeing people spend more than that, which is great. We're seeing a frequency way above our normal frequency. But it was like,
how to settle with just one slice of pizza. So if you're coming every day, we're seeing
a lot of beer bought liquor because we have really great analytics behind the scenes. So we can see when that thing's redeemed, what else is on the check.
Right.
So see how frequent people are, see if it's driving new visits. But yeah, it was really like, how do you create buzz? Hey, when the day's over 6 months from now, we might not have it, but it was like, how do you try something? Yeah. Creates buzz, gives innovation and, hopefully works. If it doesn't work, it's okay. That's why I tell the team, if we're not, I think they get dejected when things fail. And I'm like, if we're not failing, we're not pushing the envelope far enough.
Yeah. What would you say has been your most successful PR initiative? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, beyond the fact we jokingly said when JJ Watt was available, that if he joined the Pittsburgh Steelers, because we have TJ and Derek, we would change our name to Watt Brothers, which a couple of our executives were like, really? That's how far you were going to go? But that got like national buzz. ESPN picked it up. But I would say the best one ever. So it's like February of 2019, maybe end of January, February 2019. I'm like with the company like 45 days. I'm still like, I spent the first 2 months working in the restaurants. And Ryan at the time, who was our director of marketing, called and he's like, hey, the operations team wants to run like a Valentine's Day special. And I don't think we should do that because I think it's like the worst place to go is Primanti's, like above McDonald's. So we started tossing around ideas. And what we came up with is like, okay, here's the deal. If you come to our restaurant on Valentine's Day and get engaged, propose to your partner in our restaurant on Valentine's Day. We will host your wedding for you.
I love that.
We got buzz on the front end of that. We got buzz because then we asked couples to tell us it was happening. So then we got like buzz on Valentine's Day because we had like hidden cameras in restaurants because we knew it was happening. So like we told media, hey, there's going to be a proposal at this restaurant at this time. So they put like hidden cameras in and then would interview the couple. So there was that. And then we had 15 couples get engaged. I think 13 made it to the wedding. We hosted a mass wedding and got buzz that day. So it was unbelievable, like galvanized the system, created excitement, was fun. I mean, I hired.
That's incredible. 15 people took advantage of this.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I hired a person who I worked with previously to come in marketing, run a vertical of our marketing. And I remember saying to her day 2, like, I know I didn't hire you for this, but I need you to pull off a wedding in like 45 days. I know you can do it. So yeah, we hosted like a mass wedding in front of our original location. We had Donnie Iris, who's a Pittsburgh singer, sing like wedding processional. We had the mayor there officiate over the wedding. Jeff Jimerson, who's the kind of Penguins national anthem singer and other things. His band played. I mean, it was like a Yinzer explosion.
Yinzer explosion.
It was great. But that's right. I mean, if I think back to one that was unbelievable, it was that. But yeah, we always are looking for like, how do you jump into a story that's going on? And own it. So we will jump into a story tonight when whoever gets picked as the number 1 pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers, we will be all over that, inviting that person to come to the original location. We had Mason Cole, who's the Steelers center, signed last year. We invited him down and we created a coleslaw jersey. And you know, we we don't take ourselves too seriously and try to have fun.
I mean, I know you're slammed. I know your team is slammed. How intentional do you need to be about setting aside time to come up with these creative ideas?
I mean, I think you want to be intentional, but ultimately these ideas happen over a text stream at 7:00 at night or during, when the Steelers made the playoffs 2 years ago, Chris Boswell was the kicker who kicked the winning point that got us into the playoffs. Wow. And what we said, if your name was Chris or Boswell, we would, you could get a free sandwich the next day. And we got coverage everywhere. So it was literally, as the game's going on, we're like texting, between our internal team, and we've got some great external people from PR. We have an external social media guy that's phenomenal. So it's just like, you're texting ideas back and forth till you get to one. And then we write the story, we write the PR story fast and loose and get it out the door. I mean, we've gone from idea to be, there's these 2 piers, old bridge piers in Pittsburgh that they were for sale. So we did this whole story that we were bidding on them, and it was the Primanti. But that idea went from idea to being a drawing to out the door in, I think, like an hour and 15 minutes, and then picked up by media like 45 minutes later. And then our real estate guy called, is like, hey, did we buy these things and you didn't tell me? So I think it's that. It's like, we don't have a lot of restrictions. I've worked in brands that idea would have been killed by 16 departments. It would have been sitting on a desk. I worked for a guy who used to call it the pile of missed opportunities. And it would have been sitting in the pile of missed opportunities. So I think that's key, is like knowing your brand.
What's a flop?
Yeah. Knowing your brand, not being restrictive, trusting your team to do the right thing, having parameters that people don't have to think about, and letting them try things. And, if it's not going to put us out of business, making a joke about the Watt brothers, if JJ joins, we're going to call it Watt brothers. Like, that's not going to put us out of business. So why wouldn't we do it?
Right. And exactly what you spoke to, it's so evident that you lead with collaboration and trust and innovation and most importantly, fun. Yeah. And I know that flows through to your customer experience and why you all are having so much success. And I can't wait to see everything that you all accomplish in the next few years.
Well, thanks. Yeah, no, it's been,
speaking of which,
brand. 90 years this year.
90 years.
Yeah. Not a lot of brands
out
with 90 years.
So last question for you. It's 90 years. What are some big, exciting things coming up soon for Primanti Bros?
Yeah, we've got some big celebrations this summer for our 90th anniversary. I'd say one of the big things we announced, we're going into Kennywood, which is a great local amusement park, 125 years old, makes us look young. We're opening Primanti's inside Kennywood. Both of us are celebrating milestones this year. So we'll be bringing one of America's greatest amusement parks will be bringing a restaurant inside. And then we've got a lot of internal celebrations. We got something really big coming out this summer. Stay tuned. It's going to be fun. The team came up with August is really the celebration of our birthday. That's when we think the restaurant was founded. We have our longest tenured employee, Tony, who's kind of the matriarch, the face of our brand. It's her 50th anniversary. So we just celebrated that, which was great to see. Yeah. We think she's made more sandwiches than anyone in America. Jokingly say that,
Possible,
totally possible. She's got great stories. I mean, she's met kings and princes and presidents and celebrities, kind of when you come to Pittsburgh. And we just had the president in one of our restaurants. When you come to Pittsburgh, you got to come to Primanti's.
That's awesome.
So super excited. This is going to be a big year for us.
Awesome. Well, this was a lot of fun, extremely informative. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
No, thanks, Evan. Great to do this.
We will talk soon. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Unaided, the brand building podcast with our guest, Adam Golomb. As a recap, we discussed the intricacies of the gift card marketplace, how to build a collaborative and innovative culture, and some incredibly exciting campaigns that Primanti Bros has run in the past. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Evan Brandoff. See you next time, everyone. Play on.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the show and leave a rating at leagueside.com/podcast. For more educational and inspiring content, you can follow Leagueside on LinkedIn and Instagram @leagueside_. See you next time.